it's time for a Q&A. God, I never thought I would actually be able to do this, or at least properly in a way. So, for those who don't know, I had the goal to where if we reach 500 subscribers, I would do a Q&A. And we got there. And yes, this is totally ripping off of Gen Ninja's idea to where it's like, oh hey, you know, if we reach 500 subs, then should do a Q&A. And I'm doing the same thing because, frankly, I'm very unoriginal and I'm not very inspiring, dare I say. But hey, that doesn't mean that we can't do another one, like, you know, in the future. I just figured that it'd be very nice and funny to just go through because it's like, you know, this is a big thing for me. This is this is technically my second time getting to 500 subs because my old channel does have like 500 as well. But that one sucks. I don't like that one. So we're moving on over to here because I said so. And to start off this Q&A with what might be the most important question I've ever gotten. Why is it called oven if you up in the cold food and out eat the hot what? Alright, so the actual first question we got is from GGHV1216 or 126 1216. I can't read apparently, I don't know. But they said, what's your favorite game on the Gamecube? So, I'm gonna be entirely honest with y'all. I have never actually owned a Gamecube. I have always either played GameCube games via on my Wii, which counts because it is technically backwards compatible. But I guess most of my GameCube experience has not been through the actual GameCube; it's been via through other methods. I first started off playing GameCube games on my Wii, and I didn't realize back then that you needed the GameCube memory card. So for me personally, my first game that I ever got was the Shadow the Hedgehog game. And of course, with that game, you can't skip the opening cutscene. So I would just constantly replay the first level over and over again. Because it's like, well, I was stupid, okay? I was young and I was stupid. But eventually, I did learn other ways. I've done Dolphin. And more recently, my actual favorite way of actually, playing those games are via my Wii U. So now way I can hack into the games onto my Wii U and then play them with the gamepad. So now way I'm not wasting storage on my PC. And my Wii U has plenty of space because I hacked it and it's very easy to do. Anyways, as far as actual GameCube games, or at least ones that I really like Select Riders. That one probably has to be my favorite one. I still really enjoy, Shadow 5, but that one is such a weird game to play nowadays, especially with how people don't like the game that much. But here's my thing: I love that game a lot. It's just that there are some sections that I just dislike and hate. The Maria levels, oh my god, I hate the Maria levels. And just for me personally, I really enjoy Riders, so yeah, it would have to go to, Sonic Riders. That one's a really good one. Probably my favorite one, which I know may sounds weird to say, like, it's not Melee, or it's not, Paper Mario, or Star Fox Assault. I just like Sonic, man. Alright, the next question comes from Burbus, who is a fellow friend of mine. You've seen him in some videos. He freaked out about, Tomodachi Life. That was really funny. But anyways, Burbus asked, what is a franchise you want to get into, but for one reason or another haven't touched? I won't lie, there's like a list. Like, a very small list, but a list nonetheless. I'm pretty sure the main one for me that sticks out has got to go to the Yakuza franchise. I mean, so far, up until 7, with, Like a Dragon and 8, and then they recently, ported 0 with some English dub and whatnot. My brain personally just prefers to hear and listen to just, English dialogue. One other thing is that I really don't like subtitles because they will constantly always spoil things that happen in the scene. and so it's why, well, for me personally, I always try and, turn them off. Something about how certain subtitles are made and how they are just spoiling, certain sound effects, or my god, the dash. I hate the dash so much whenever it comes to a very intense moment, and then all of a sudden, oh, you can see a plot point. Because the way my brain works during the subtitles is the fact that I read the whole thing really fast. So by the time the scene catches up, I already know how it's said and what's gonna happen, and that's why I just don't like subtitles. And that's my problem with when it comes to Yakuza. That has always been a game series that I have wanted to really get into. But for one reason or another, I just can't because of how it's just not in English. And I really want it to be in English because I've heard great things about it. I love the music, especially, but I just haven't. Another game series that I haven't gotten really into, or I don't I don't know what, but TF2. Which is so weird to say because it's free. It's a free game. I think my main problem has to come with the fact that it's on PC. I am not at all a PC gamer whatsoever. I really don't like it. Because I think for me personally, I see PCs as work and my consoles for, fun and games and whatnot. That's just how my brain works. And also, I guess, to be fair, considering how I edit a lot of videos, I have so many files that are just taken up by just, video elements and music and effects that I have saved onto my laptop. And I guess PC games have so much storage. They have so much storage, and it's not worth getting because I will barely play them. And I suck with, mouse and keyboard as well. I'm decent, but my hand cramps up because I'm on a laptop, and that's not really good for actual PC gaming. I guess another game series that I just haven't really gone into has been Pikmin. I really wish that I could see the value in Pikmin, at least rather for me. Because my value in Pikmin, I don't see it good at all. Or whatever. I can see why. I can see why others like it, but it's not my thing. It really is just not my thing. And for me, I can't say shit because of Xenoblade. But the thing is that I know that Xenoblade is such a heavy 50-50. But here's the problem. The community does not give you that chance, and I hate that. But yeah, pretty much Yakuza for its lack of, English dubbing. TF2 because of PC storage. Or also, TF2 is also a case of where, it's to where it's such a... It is such an old game, and considering the fact that people play it, cause it's online, and I'm scared of losing so many times to where I just don't want to play it anymore. That's just me. Alright, this next one comes from Silver Judge, from Twitter. Can you say your favorite genre of games and most recent game from it? I like a lot. Here's the thing. I like a lot of genres of games. I would say my favorite has to be, I guess more so the action platformer part of it. Because I really enjoy doing things fast. Maybe it's just a very small competitive side of me, but I just like going through levels and, just anything fast. It's probably why I really like Sonic and Neon White especially. Neon White is a really good game. I should get back into that. I beat it, but I just haven't gotten back to it because I don't know why. But it's I enjoy so many different genres of games. I have always been a firm believer that there is a genre of game for every single person out there, and you just haven't found it. as someone who really thought that they really disliked RPGs, I don't, because the exact moment that I played, Persona 5 was when I just loved RPGs a lot more. Or at least turn-based RPGs, because, I love Xenoblade, but, that's, a weird RPG. It's like a JRPG, but, it's not a turn-based RPG. I don't know. But then, of course, there are shooters where I've been playing, Splatoon and Doom. Roguelikes, I played Hades, and I loved that, and then played Sayonara a lot, and more recently I've been playing God of War Valhalla a lot recently, in a way. But it's I can't really say that I can't really say that I have a favorite genre of games, if I'm being real. Because, because it's I enjoy games that are both very immersive, but yet are really good to just replay. Because I just like to replay games. I'm so broke that I can't, afford the most recent games all that much, or a Switch 2 for that matter. But it's probably why I enjoy the action platformer part, because it's about going fast, but also just doing cool maneuvers and whatnot. It's also why I really like Celeste and, Sonic Unleashed, especially. Sonic Cross Shadow Generations is weird because the main enjoyment I get from that game is the timer aspect with chaos control. But then you have Unleashed, which feels way faster and is way more reaction based, but yet has it has no timer element when it comes to its when it has its chaos control. I would be so down for a random. I'm just saying, if there was a chaos control mechanic put into Unleashed, I think Unleashed would have been my favorite Sonic game of all time. Because I love that little part of just knowing the routes for enemies and of course being rewarded for taking out the enemies by slowing down time. But yeah, I would say probably the action platformer part. The most recent game, I guess for me personally, it would be Neon White, which I know is a weird thing to say, but that feels a lot more like an action platformer. And I guess before that it would be Celeste, but and then Sonic Shadow. There are so many games. I have a list which I'll put up on screen hopefully if I remember. Please God, let me do this, please. All right, the last gaming question, and I saved this one for a reason. This is from XJ, which is another cool dude. He's chill. He's nice. I got nothing else to say. He's a cool dude. But anyways, XJ asked me, what got you into the Xenoblade series? Was this thing in particular about the series you were intrigued by, or was it something else that got you into the series? Alright, so fun fact, I got into Xenoblade because of a friend. This friend was named Gail, which is a trans male, but I knew them as Abby when this happened. So, the point being, in 2016, 2017, I met Gail, and Gail had gotten into Xenoblade because of someone that everyone knows at this point for getting them into Xenoblade, Sugar Conroy. That's how Gail got into Xenoblade. He got into it because of Sugar Conroy, and I guess he just had talked about it to me for so long. But the sad thing is that we were dating. We were dating at the time. So then we broke up, and I hadn't played Xenoblade yet by this point. But yeah, I still wanted to play it, and there was a little voice inside of me saying, "Well, don't do it, because if you do it, you're gonna get reminded of Gale. And I still did enemies. I got Xenoblade 2 and Torna on the same day in Christmas. And I won't lie, I never actually. I'm going to quickly. I'm going to quickly add myself as this. I have not beaten Xenoblade 1 or 2. I've beaten 3, and 3 feature redeemed, but like I have not beaten 1 or 2. I haven't even gotten past like I didn't get that far in 1, like at all. It was a little bit after Shulk gets his visions, in 1 at least, but then for 2, I would constantly go back to 2 every now and then, and I'm so fucking underleveled. I'm so goddamn underleveled in that game. I had to fight Manos and Jin somewhere, and I'm just too underleveled. But I'm so impatient, and I don't want to go out and grind the levels because it's just boring. Grinding in the game is so boring. But anyways, like I said, I got into Xenoblade because my friend Gale was talking about it a lot when we were dating. And so, again, I had really considered playing through it. And then when I did, when we broke up, I played too, and I loved playing through it. And it's funny because I'm pretty sure that nowadays I'm way more into Xenoblade than he is, probably. I don't know. We don't talk because we also stopped talking, sadly. But it's like, but like, no, I am so much like I'm so way much more into Xenoblade than he is now, and I think that's so ironic because he got me into it. But it's like, my God, like I love 3 so much. I'm gonna do it quickly, but like I love 3 so much because I don't know why, but 3 clicked the most. As someone who has played 2 and 1 and not beaten them, 3 was the first game where I'm just like, oh my God, everything clicks. It was like I loved everything about it. I love Mio so much. I love Noah and Mio. I remember so much about ships nowadays. Like whether it's real or fictional, Noah and Mio has been my favorite ship ever, like of all time, and that's just like they're just seeing both of them together, it makes me so happy. And and the thing is, not many ships do that for me. there is a top 5 list of just seeing couples and seeing ships that just make me feel happy. That just make me feel happy like that. And that is Noah and Mio, Wilbur and Topaz, which is entirely something new that my audience does not get. But if you know, you know. Equally is JD and Jen, which they're both adorable. So is Emmy and Greg, who are both online friends who are just so cute together. And it goes on. It goes on for like a small amount. I mean, there is Mark and Amy. I don't know them at all. I have no contact with Mark whatsoever. But it's like I like seeing their dynamic, and again, that just happens with all ships that I like a lot. So that's just my thing with Xenoblade. It's like I'm so happy that I took the leap into it, because man, I won't lie, there is somewhere out there is another timeline where I don't play Xenoblade. And that's the only thing that's changed about me. And somewhere out there, I am pissed that Pyra and Mythra are in Smash. Somewhere out there, I'm pissed that they're in Smash. Who knows, man? I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, thank you actually for the Zemi question. All right, so we've got a meme because of Hoei, and he asked us a lot of things. Number one, without the time stones, yes. Opinions on new Kali. What? I didn't. What the hell is new Kali? What? Apparently, it's a French territory. I mean, it's fine. I don't know. Is Wonderworld a top 50 at least in your songs of all time? Honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, I mean, no. But I will say it might be, dare I say, a top 200. Like, maybe even top 100. But that's stretching it. I have no idea. I won't lie. There is now a very small piece of me that does enjoy it because of Hoei. I don't know why. Do you know about Cool Cat? Maybe no. Who the hell is Derek Savage? What is your favorite quote? The most obvious one to me that really comes to mind is, Shadow's line at the end of 06 where he says, "Oh, if the world chooses to become my enemy, I will fight like I always have." Like, I don't know why. Like no, I've always loved that quote, because here's the thing: when it comes to Shadow in 06, and people seeing that line, I think there is where I realize how much Shadow has come by. People always see that line, and they always think that Shadow is gonna fight people, oh hey, if they're gonna fight, I'll fight back. But I think people don't realize is that with that scene, Shadow, Rouge, and Omega, they all kind of huddle up. And I realized that it's Shadow saying he will always fight with his friends. And I think that, that sounds like the most cliche thing from Sonic, the whole, power of friendship bullshit. It works because Shadow has always, by that point, he hasn't really felt many bonds with people. It's when it came to SA2, he kind of was just doing it because of Maria's wish and whatnot. When it came to Heroes, he was just kind of there. Let's be real, but by that point, he was perfectly just there, just to be put in. I don't really think that they were thinking too deep into it. In 06, they really try and prioritize Shadow's whole friendship with Rouge and Omega, because they really are a great team in 06. Probably more so than Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, because that's just how good they work in 06, and that's why I think that that quote really hits hard. Do you have a catchphrase? I have a motto. Does that count? And lastly, from Hoei, favorite bird. Be super specific. Jet the Hawk. Alright, now we got some writing questions. Now, there are only two of them, but I'm gonna do them anyways. The first question is from Jen, who, she's amazing. I would go check her out. She writes way better than I do. Now, granted that, she has help from Goji, but it's still good writing. I don't care. Go see Jen. But anyways, Jen's question was, how did you come up with the idea to create Subject Octarian Fury? What inspired you? So before I start, Subject Octarian Fury is a fanfic on Wattpad that I'll link down below. And I won't lie, I did kind of add in the subject to it because, so originally it was just Octarian Fury, but then I realized, oh, if you try and abbreviate that, it just spells OF, which yeah, I don't want to do, so I just put in the S in there. I don't know why. I just like, well, I don't want to. I don't want. I really don't want people to, mistake this as an OnlyFans. Please, God, no. So, here's the thing. Octarian Fury was going to be just a random one-off chapter, right? This was during a time where I had seen several people online, make their OCs and give lore to them. But to me, I was so upset because so many people, they make these OCs and they don't do anything with them. Like, most times, I guess, they will just make them for the sake of just drawing, for just drawings and art and art interactions. There's so little lore that's actually written, and they will just talk it out and they'll just explain it, which I don't know why, but like I think just to me personally, a really short summary of an OT's background is just lame to me. I really want to do more with that, or like I don't know. I really want to see more of that idea, but people just don't do it for whatever reason. So I guess out of spite, I guess I wanted to create that. I wanted to create a story where it's basically my own self-insert going through whatever, and I didn't mean for it to take off as much. I mean, granted, in some ways, it's not nearly as taken off. If I'm gonna be honest, but I slowly started to make that. It became less so making it out of spite, and making because I wanted to make it and write it. Like it wasn't meant to be this whole big idea. It was actually me going into it with a very quick one summary, like chapter in a way, like story, whatever, and it just spiraled into like nearly 32 chapters, or at least planned chapters. And yes, planned chapters. I have literally 32 planned chapters of what I'm going to talk about, and let's combine this with the next question that I got, which I'll just combine these two with Jen and the next one. But from Strike It, he asked me, how did it come to be, and could you tell us some stories about its development? So, I guess to pair this up with Jen, in a way, since, oh yeah, by the way, Strike It is amazing too. You should go check him out. He makes renders. He made the render for montage and the poorly dubbed of Shadow Generations. Great stuff. So as I was making it, I just went with the flow, and spoiler alert for the entire story was, I guess, the entire story is one giant metaphor for how I met my friends. In fact, dare I say, in very older tweets, and in older versions of it, every single character is named after a friend. So, for instance, Axel was named Arctic, Shayla was named Lily, and Nocto was named Sheena, and just so on and so forth. And I decided that, hey, and so I just kind of thought that, well, this seems more than just a random retelling, or rather a giant metaphor retelling how I met these people, or rather, like it's not just a story based on it's not just a story of how I met these people and these friends. It's also very symbolic of how I feel with them and how I just see them personally in my mind. And that goes for like the entire thing. Now, as far as its development, I will say this. it all really started going downhill, I mean downhill in the bad way, but like I guess snowballing is the right term. When I started asking for other characters, and this mainly happens with Dorothy and Nocto, and Nocto was the main starting point of all this. Nocto is made by Shino, who is again a very great friend of mine, and I just casually asked him like, "Hey, can I use Nocto in the story to represent you in a way?" And just whatever. And he said, "Yeah, go for it." But also, there's constant consent on both ends when it comes to this, right? Because I'm trying to write Nato good enough to where it's still true to his character while still adding in elements of Shino into it. And in came the biggest thing that I really didn't want to do was add in Per and Marina. I did not want it to seem, at first, at the time, that Lana and Axel were just more agents. I hate it. I really hate it whenever people make characters that are just agents, because it's so boring. It's so boring to just, make characters who are agents, to me personally, because, because they all do the same shit. Every single fanfic that I've written, which I would say is a very unhealthy degree, or at least I would say very unheavy, but way more than I should. Every fanfic who has made their own version of an agent, they all have the same shit. They always have the same shit when it comes to their characters. Every single agent that I've seen will be, I guess, good friends with Pearl, Marina, Shiver, Fragment Man, or Kenny and Marie, and I just don't like it because it's so boring. It's so boring to me whenever people make it to where it's like, oh, hey, they are a thing. So I just thought that, hey, I'm going to write this to where they are merely, allies, but they're not friends, right? Per and Marina are friends with Nocto because that's what he wanted. But then when it comes to Per and Marina with Lana and Axel and Dorothy, I see that purely as just allies. Maybe it's just because I don't like Marina. Marina is probably my least favorite idol in the whole series. I'm just gonna be brutally honest, and I guess that's why I don't want to write for her too much. Or it's not go too deep into it, if that makes sense. And then came in Dorothy. Dorothy is my proudest thing of this whole series. So if you don't know, Dorothy is made by Cosmic, who is fucking amazing. She's she's one of my favorite people to just talk to. She's amazing. Holy shit. but basically, Dorothy's summary was very short. It was maybe in 3 sentences long, and we turned her backstory into a 14 or 15 page chapter, which is crazy to do anything about. It's just oh hey, this one character who had 3 sentences of lore is now big. She's now a big deal, and she has fans and whatnot. A small fan base, but they're fans either way. So from what I remember, Cosmic made Dorothy and Brownie, who is someone else who we'll get to, just because she saw others make their own OCs based on the game. So I guess rather she felt forced to make them, and she felt really nothing towards them. And so she made them. And, same story for me. I asked her, hey, can I do this? And she's like, yeah. And we both talked it out so much. And, we have our own, and, we have our own little headcanons. And, spoiler alert, I'll say this much, Lana and Dorothy are very obviously in a thing. Like, no, they're very obviously a thing. And I have 2 epilogues to show how big that goes. Though it's not really safe for you two, I'll say that much. Um, but yeah. Now, as far as other stuff, this is where I get really giddy. This is where I get really giddy. My favorite, I think, my favorite foreshadowing is the Rainmaker. So, during, I think, chapters like 12, maybe 13 or 15, I don't know, but, I state, I write down how, in order for them to get into Agnan, they have to have a weapon just like the Rainmaker to even stand a chance, and they hack slash modify it. So picture me this: I'm there writing it out, and 2 weeks later, Nintendo announces a modified Rainmaker challenge, and I'm like, dude, this is that's my idea. Not granted, there was something changed out, but pretty much my idea in my idea in my fanfic made it into the game in a weird way. Now, there are 2 other things I want to point out. Actually, there's 3 things I think about, but but there is the ink skates, which I added in the the ink skates because I saw this tweet where someone had a concept design for a it was a spray board. It was a inked version of a hoverboard slash skateboard or whatever. I had simply saw that idea, and to me, I saw it to where it's like, oh hey, this board looks like if you were to split it in 2, they could just be ink skates. And I liked the idea, and I always wished that the series had dove more into that punk-esque style. Splatoon's paint-like gameplay is not at all like, actual graffiti. You never see someone actually paint. There are no spray cans, there are no rollerblades or skateboards. There are skates, but you just walk around with them. Like, there's nothing much of them. Like, there are wheels, but what more does that do? So, like, I really wished that the game leaned more into its, dare I say, Jet Set Radio vibe that I really like. It's like, he goes nowhere, really. It's something, but to really sell that whole punk, like, city street gangster, like, lifeline, like, not like life, whatever. I really wanted them to add some form of extreme sports, whatever the fuck, extreme gear, rollerblades and whatnot. There's no bikes. There's no fucking, motorcycles or, ink bites. And there's no throwing hands with, like, boxing gloves. Which, yes, I really want that. I really want boxing glove, like, weapons. And just throw hands with someone. That sounds really cool. And speaking of hands, the splashdown or the superpowers thing. Here's a small thing. That was a thing that I had made up just for the sake of just making up, because honestly, it's really boring to just have a character be OP for no reason. And so I realized that, oh my god, the Princess Cannon is more than just kill a whale. It's, it has ink. That statue exploded. So I guess to me, it's like the whole idea of the powers really leaned on just there being multiple colonies. Which, by the way, is very inspired from Xenoblade 3. The whole, like, colonies tidbit and just everyone being in their own spot. That was entirely a Xenoblade thing. Same thing with the names. As there was Kevis and Agnes in Xenoblade, in mine, uh, two colonies are named Agnan and like Levnis. Yeah, that's just a me thing. I'll admit it, I would probably nobody that, but also here's something else that I did. So I made it to where, I guess each character's power comes from a certain part of their body, right? For Dorothy, it's her eyesight, and that's how she snipes so well. For Arctic, or Axel in this case, it's his right arm. For Lana and my character, it's her left arm for her smashdowns, and for Axel, it's right for great bomb. But whatever. I chose my left arm because here's something weird. I am not at all left-handed, right? I'm not at all left-handed. But when I was a kid, and I don't know why, but I'm not sure how to properly explain this, but the thing is that my left arm has very visible veins showing on it. So most times I will constantly see my veins, and I don't know why. As a kid, and still now to this day, I just picture my veins on my left arm, almost as if they are powering me up. I don't know why. That sounds so stupid and so very artistic of me to say, but that's just how it's always been for me. Whenever I be in school or whatever, I would always just look down at my left arm, and in some weird way, I would see that as me powering up, and I would literally just push through the day like that, cause my brain thought that I was on some weird hyper juice. Like it sounds so weird and fucked up when you think about it, but I really liked that idea that my left arm is the reason why I have powers in the universe in a way. I don't know, man. Like, it's so cool to think about. Like, it's so cool to just think that, oh, hey, I did this and whatnot. But yeah, like, I guess the entire idea behind the story, it has what I call, like, 3 different phases or arcs in the story. The first phase is when you are shown off this brand new idea of, Lana and Axel in a weird colony somewhere way out of, the city, as they are Octarians. It's when Axel escapes that's when phase 2 comes into play, and that's when I use the toying idea of a concept many people know and that they are very familiar with. Because, so basically, especially, phase 1 is entirely, but it's new. It's a new alternate take on the world. And when phase 2 comes in, you realize, oh, this one event that I know of is the reason why this all happens. with Pearl and the cannon, and using that to give off the excuse as to why Lana and Axel have these powers, to then realize that, oh shit, Lana is from somewhere else once they're in the city. And then when they come back from Agnan, that's when phase 3 starts with, Alterna, and I use that to rewrite the story. I'm gonna be real, I do think that Alterna might be my personal favorite story out of the 4 campaigns, or the 5 campaigns. Just how different it is, and in some ways to me, it's way more replayable than the other ones. Not as much as Sight Order, because I really love to replay Sight Order a lot because it's speedrun and it's a roguelike, obviously. but I don't like its story. But then with Alterna, that's when I that's when I go more so into a whole rewrite of the story we all know. And giving it its own different twists and takes on the story that I feel really proud of. I'm really so as of right now, chapter 22 is out, I think. I'm pretty sure it's only chapter 22. And to think that there are 10 more chapters left. There are 10 more chapters next. And my god, I am so fucking excited because it's gonna be this is where the rewrite really comes in, because not only am I going to rewrite and retell the stages and the bosses, when it comes to the bosses, I'm going to rewrite them. I'm going to rewrite and add in new gameplay mechanics. That's or at least no storytelling gameplay mechanics in a way. I'll give y'all a little sneak peek, if you will, a little spoiler, if you will. For the Fry boss fight, I plan on having it to where someone makes stairs out of the eels, and they climb on top of them to reach Fry. That's all I'm gonna say. That's one idea I have for it. That's only one of the ideas I have for it, and that says a lot. I'm gonna go all out with these boss rewrites. It's gonna be insane and crazy, and I can't wait to write and show it off in that way. And I will say this much: there are still more characters. We still have a good chunk of characters left to not only, dive into, knowing Jacob's lore, seeing Dorothy and Lana, come closer. There's also a war tagging along. Rivlin is gonna learn how to fight. And we still haven't heard from Wolf as far as the story goes. And then after, well, actually no, there's still 2 more characters to be shown off. no, 3 more. There'd be 3 more characters shown off in fucking Alterna, but that's being for way later. Wait, no, there's 4. Oh my god, I can't count. But yeah, that's your behind the scenes of Octarian Fury, and yeah, I've rambled so much. God, to me how to edit. All right, we have one last question from LCV, who I also really enjoy. You should check him out. He makes really good videos. I'll say that much. My God, I love that Portal one so much. It's my favorite one from him. But he asked me, what got you into doing YouTube and what keeps you from going to keep making content? I think what got me into YouTube was just seeing honestly just seeing just seeing other people upload. The very first video that I watched that really got me into YouTube, because let's be real, when you are so young and you watch YouTube, you don't really piece together how YouTube can be a job for others, and in some ways you kind of just just watch it and you move on because, oh hey, you're a kid and you just like seeing whatever. I used to watch plush videos as well as stop motion animation based on Sonic characters and weird plushies of Mario and Luigi doing stuff. It sounds cringe, and it is, but that's just what I watched back then. But the first video where I realized, oh my god, I love this platform, was the top 10 Sonic games from Fawful's Minion. That one was the one where I realized, oh my god, this is... YouTube is an art. YouTube is an art in so many ways, and people just don't realize that. Because people make so much on this platform. I've seen people come and go, and frankly speaking, it's kind of very insulting to me in a way how these people, come in and then they leave, and yet I've been here for longer and I still got nothing. But whatever. But like I watched his video on the top 10 slot games, and that's where I realized, oh my god, I want this I want to make videos like this, and a lot more than you think. If you are someone like me who likes to both create videos and watch a lot of videos, you are you are probably holding back so much on videos that you really want to do, but you just can't do. Like as someone who really loves to script and make top tens and reviews and whatnot, I just can't do it I just can't do it as well, because I watch these people and I will just sometimes take some inspiration from them, if it makes sense. I won't say it's like plagiarism. I used to do that, and I'm not proud of those days. It's probably why I really don't like Mochi. It's probably why I really don't like Mochi that much. But I was young. I was young and stupid. But I liked doing YouTube because I realized that I just love making videos. I really like making these videos, and especially the ones that put so much time and effort into, like that pre-dubbed of Shadow Generations. I love so much, and it's funny because as of right now, it is the 23rd at 1 p.m. Last night, actually no, 12 hours ago was when we ended the pre-dubbed Forces. And holy shit, that was 4 hours of pain and agony and laughter, but my god, it's so worth it. It's so worth it to make and edit these videos. I would say the easiest ones to make are odd enough the montages, or at least in terms of highly edited stuff. They are so easy to make when you realize, oh hey, you just scroll ahead until you find the kill part. That's just what happens with most montages. I think that's funny in a way, at least for me. I got into YouTube because I watched Fafa's Minion upload, or his video on Top 10 Sonic games, the old one, mind you. And the more I watched of people, the more I realized, oh my god, oh my god, I want to also do this thing as well. So I watched Fairboat, I watched Chori 5. I love Chori 5 and Fairboat, by the way. They're both amazing people. I watched Sean, or Jack, whatever. Mark. There's Alan Becker. There's Bakuri Box 12. Ajax. I also like him as well. There's so many people on YouTube that I just like to watch and just see their videos. There is probably a certain number of people on YouTube who actually do create stuff, but I just like it. I really like how people can just create whatever they want in a weird way. Or I won't say weird, but it's just nice. It's nice to see people create, and in some ways, I really wanted to do the same. I really wanted to just watch people, create while also, I guess, creating with them. And in some ways, I won't lie, it can backfire. I'm so pissed off on Virus. This one guy named Virus, he made a video where he did a challenge that I did weeks before him, and he got more views. I was pissed online. I mean, it makes no sense, but my god, I was pissed because man, I put a lot of effort into videos like these. I still create because my mind just can't stop thinking about it. Like, there are times where I will be out and about, or just, playing games even when there's nothing to record. And I just can't wait for the next video that I'll make. I just can't wait for the next one. I just can't. But yeah, that's why I like making videos and why I still do it, because it's so nice to create, especially in a video format, because I so question, have y'all ever done that thing whenever you listen to a song and you imagine there being scenes playing out in your head? Video editing gives me that power to be like, oh my god, I can make that happen. I can make whatever song sync up with gameplay that I can. I can actually do that, and it's fun. It's hell sometimes, but it's fun to do. Like, it's so fun to make stuff like that. It's probably why, in some cases, for me, making the montages are very fun. Are very fun to do. They're probably the easiest ones to make. I just enjoy making videos, man. It's just nice to see, and it's just nice, man. I don't know. Alright, that was every comment and question that I got on the Q&A stuff. If you didn't, if you have more questions to ask, you could either leave them in the comments, which I will also ask and reply to, or we can save it for another time. We still have to go to 1,000 subscribers, which I can't wait for. I'm waiting on that day. I've been waiting so long. I've earned this, man. I don't want to sound serious, but man, I've earned this. I've worked my ass off, and I'm sad that it's not going as far as I wanted to. But man, I don't care. I just gotta wait. I'm sorry for stuttering during all that, but I just gotta wait for that 1,000 subscribers, and we'll go up from there. We're gonna go up, and I can't wait. But yeah, that's all I've gotta say. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm not sure when I'll upload next, but I can't wait. And I hope to see y'all in the next video. So, bye!